Yep, I'm one of those. You know the type, fiddling about with endless projects. My latest is this 16-foot chestnut prospector canoe. It's one of the most expensive I've taken on, and without a doubt, the most challenging. I've learned a lot about canoe building, woodworking, and most importantly, problem solving. In this series, I'll showcase my building successes and my many mistakes. In the end, I hope you learn along with me and tailor what you learn to your own build. No matter what stage you're in, share with me how it's going in the comments below. In the first video in this series, I covered what you need to know before begin building your first canoe. Now let's move on to the first steps of canoe building. It's an exciting day of unpacking my Bear Mountain kit and building the Strongback. Let's get started. I chose to purchase a kit mainly because it's my first canoe build. I didn't yet have many of the tools nor the skills I would have needed to build from my own plans. This Bear Mountain kit was very expensive, but it's helpful in getting me building right away. COVID made it difficult to ship materials from Canada where Bear Mountain is located, so I didn't receive the materials in the kit from Bear Mountain. Instead, it was shipped from another boatworks company in New England. Included in this kit are the plans for my 16-foot prospector, CNC cut molds, 2 cane seats, 4 gunnels, strips of ash for stem construction, a fiberglass sheath, an epoxy kit, and 72 7-foot Beadon Cove Western cedar strips. 72 17-foot strips take up a lot of space, so I wanted to place them in a space where they were out of the way when I didn't need them, but yet easily accessible when I did. Installing hooks on this wall in my garage made the most sense. The strips fit perfectly, and you'll see in a future episode how I designed this setup so I could conveniently reach up and grab a strip while building the hull. The first project I'll do before I begin building the hull is the Strongback. This is the table in which I will install the molds and build the hull. I went a little overboard building the Strongback. I bought 2 very expensive 3/4-inch poplar plywood sheets. I bought the poplar because I thought it would be easier to see pencil marks on it as I set up my station molds. In the end, the poplar was unnecessary. A phrase you may hear a lot in this series is, if I were to do it again. Here's the first one. For my Strongback construction, if I were to do it again, I would have used an inexpensive 3-ply grade D plywood. The more knots and imperfections in it, the better. My Strongback was beautiful when I was done constructing it, but it's a utilitarian object that I'll likely disassemble when I'm done building the canoe. I could have put the money I spent on the poplar towards some more tools or epoxy. Canoecraft is one of the very best resources out there for guidance on how to build your Strongback. If you don't have Canoecraft yet, pause this video and click the link in the description to get it. Before I put saw to wood, I created a build plan on the pages of Canoecraft. Then I created a cut plan on sheets of paper. Each piece of paper equaled 1 sheet of plywood. This was an important step to ensure my cuts would be accurate, and more importantly, to get my woodworking and problem-solving juices flowing. It would be ideal to make these cuts on a safe, stable, and fixed table saw. While the circular saw I'm using was a bit challenging to cut with precision, I was still able to build a level and stable Strongback. After cutting, I marked each cut so I knew where to assemble it. My 16-foot Strongback is built in 3 sections. 2 8-foot sections and a narrower 4-foot section that sits in between the 2 8-foot sections to hold everything together. I assembled each section together separately and slid the inner 4-foot section in between them. I leveled everything so that the joints between each section fit together nicely and then clamped it all together. It's important that the top edge is straight. To ensure this, before I fastened the sections together, I fitted a 1/4-inch spacer on what would become the top edge of the beam on each end. I then stretched the string from end to end. I ran another 1/4-inch spacer along the length of the beam underneath the string. I made adjustments where the spacer just didn't fit. Once I was satisfied with the straightness of the top edge, I drilled pilot holes and fastened the 3 sections together. Next, I assembled the legs. Each leg is made of 3 sections as well. The first section, a vertical one, consisting of 2 long pieces that are assembled on either side of the second to last gable on each side of the strongback. Another shorter vertical section is slid between the 2 longer ones. Finally, 2 horizontal pieces are assembled at the base of the shorter vertical section. It's a pretty simple but effective design, so I ensured everything is level, made adjustments where needed, and fastened the legs together with the box beam. Now that I got the legs on, it's time to flip over the strongback. This ingenious design will also allow me to level the strongback after it's assembled and adjust it if necessary. Here I'll place foot filler blocks, 2 of them on each side of the feet of the legs. I'll clamp it here and make adjustments until the entire strongback is level. There's a significant slope towards the front of my garage, so the filler blocks at the front needed to be positioned much higher than the rear of the garage. After I got it leveled, I had a smile on my face because I knew this is where the strongback will sit until after building the hull. We're not done building the strongback yet. The beam is still a bit flexible without the top attached. After putting the top in place, I leveled and clamped it. Building the strongback gave me a bit more confidence that I could actually build a canoe. I'm ridiculously excited to start planking the hull, and to do that, I'll need to attach the molds. I'm getting ahead of myself here because the next step is bending the ash stems on the bow and stern molds. If you want to see that process, click on that episode here.